Historians, this is your walkthrough of your lesson, Facing Slavery, Slave Auctions. So in this lesson, your goal is that you can identify details, thoughts, and feelings of participants in a slave auction. And again, your driving question is, what was the impact of slavery on Africans? So this brain pop video gives you some background information of slavery and what slavery meant to the world and the United States. You're going to need to work through this lesson with time, patience, and understanding. All right. Here, again, this is similar to what we saw in our last lesson where we have our introduction. It's going to give us some information about how the slave trade launched and how it began. And you can listen to all of this text here with this audio file. Now, we're going to specifically be talking about slave auctions. When a slave ship arrived in the American colonies, the slave traders sold the West Africans to white plantation owners. Traders also sold slaves at slave auctions. The slaves stood on a platform called an auction block where buyers bid against each other. One by one, the slaves were sold. If they were not already separated in Africa, parents were sold separately from children, husbands from wives, and brothers from sisters. Often they never saw each other again. And each of these audio files will give you more background information about what was happening before the slave auctions and then what happened after the slave auctions. How did these West Africans manage this? What were they thinking? What were some of them feeling? What was happening inside? And then your activity is a very thoughtful one. So here we have an image. Look carefully at this image and the details in this image of an African American being sold at a slave auction. Notice the trader exhibiting the young woman and all of the civilians waiting to purchase slaves. You're going to write your response in the pop-up in the text boxes that are on the side or here in order to fill out this activity. So for this one, what do you think the young slave is thinking right now? What over here, what sounds might you be hearing from the crowd? And then here, it's going to be, what could this auctioneer be saying in order to convince people that this is acceptable? And who might this auctioneer be trying to sell this West African to? And then we have an additional extension activity for you to connect what you did in your previous lesson with this information and just write a quick summary. And then 2 videos here. This one was also in our last lesson. They are very realistic videos. They're very good historical information, and they are uncomfortable because this was an uncomfortable time in America's history and something that is important for us to understand and learn about. So again, with thoughts and details, you can identify the feelings and the participants in a slave auction. You really are going to have to work hard on this one. You're going to have to think like a historian. You're going to have to take in all of the information and really be empathetic as you work your way through this lesson. Be thoughtful historians as you do this. Be intelligent historians as you do this. And good luck.